Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about what I think is the best part of Dying Light 2, and I'm going to be doing my best to explain to you why. It definitely seems like a topic of conversation that comes out of nowhere, but in this day and age and in this community which is full of so much negativity, I just wanted to talk about something a little bit more positive, but also something that's been in the back of my mind for a while. Looking back over the years, there's a lot of small moments in Dying Light 2's story that I really do like, some that stuck with me. And then there's others that I absolutely dread every single playthrough. But the one that keeps coming back to me most and sits in the back of my mind is the prologue. It is kinda crazy to say the best part of the game is its introduction, but let me explain. To me, it is the single quest in Dying Light 2 that I can say is nearly perfect, and if anything sets up a level and foundation that is never surpassed for the rest of the game. Now of course it does the basics and introduces you to the world, the main character, the antagonist, your overarching goal with some mystery sprinkled in there. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it's captivating enough to keep you engaged for the long run. But in my eyes, while the story is interesting, that's not what has me believe in this prologue is genuinely fantastic. It's truthfully the world and vibe of this handcrafted apocalypse. A lot of Villador City was made with procedural generation, meaning there unfortunately aren't a ton of memorable landmarks and more so a lot of the same repeated boring buildings with nothing really interesting to discover. Techland has tried fixing this over the years, but it never was really enough. To me, the prologue is one of the only times in this game where Techland fully commits to creating a handcrafted area, with distinct paths and tons of environmental storytelling to discover. All that stuff still makes it into the rest of the game, but I feel like here is when it was at its peak. For example, the most haunting moment in Dying Light 2 is the party at the end of the world. Walking around, seeing all these corpses with the messages they left behind stuck with me all the way to the credits. It's a type of sadness in this game that no major death or anything else was really able to replicate or honestly even come close. Exploring these forests, parks, and overgrown streets genuinely made me more excited for Dying Light the Beast, as that is what a lot of the map will be. If it has the style and vibe of the prologue, a little bit more swamp you could say times 10, then I'm all for it. I'll just say, in the trailers there are a few moments that do make me feel like we're right outside of Villador, so it does make me appreciate playing the prologue once again. Now, to go into more detail, a big part of what I think makes this area so great, especially for this quest, is the linearity of the map design. You have mainly one set destination, and while there are many ways to approach it, I do feel like the quest design is at its best when it's much more compact, like this, you could say. Instead of being thrown into the open world, I feel like Techland is at their best when they have these hub worlds to work with. When they're more linear, scripted, compacted, handcrafted, there's many types of words I can use. I just feel like Techland knows how to better set the tone, making it more interesting overall. And mostly, they aren't wasting the player's time with a ton of filler content that just feels unnecessary. A lot of the prologue exploration actually feels interesting every time I revisit it, with a highlight being those mini set pieces that involve more of the environment. Like the train tipping back as you run up within it, or the floor collapsing beneath you as you outrun Waltz's men. Those crazy bombastic moments are what really sticks with me in these types of games. I just love the insane destruction of Uncharted, so even just a little spark of that always makes me happy. But honestly, in Dying Light 2, we don't really ever see that much again outside of the windmill explosion or falling into the dark zone in the epilogue and a few other scripted scenarios. But the thing is, all of those take place in cutscenes. It's another one of those things that the E3 era teased that sadly never made it into the open world. Like, I find it so odd that we see it on full display in the prologue and nowhere else ever again. Even Dying Light 1 had those destructible rooftops you can jump into. So seeing how unique this location is genuinely hurts my soul that you can never return to it once you enter the tunnels and, progress the story. Just simply having that freedom to go back outside of the city, run around, farm volatiles, whatever you people like to do these days would have been nice. But yeah, I understand it doesn't make much sense for the story too, so there's that. One of my favorite zones in this entire prologue is the catacombs, right before you enter the bazaar. It reminds me of Hellraid, having this very distinct lighting choice and design that is nowhere else to be seen in the game at all. I believe one iteration of Dying Light 2 was supposed to make this catacomb area much bigger, which could have been really damn cool and terrifying. These are the types of linear locations that have me scratching my head and questioning why couldn't the entire game have this attention to detail. At the end of the day, all we can do is hope Dying Light the Beast turns out like this prologue just expanded upon. That's what I want at least, but let me know how you feel in the comments. The prologue of course has its issues, but in my opinion it's the highlight and overall best part of the game. With that said, thanks for watching folks, and stop by next time. Cheers!